Okay. Good morning, everyone. I call to order the October 3rd, 2023 meeting of the Las Virgenes-Malibu COG Governing Board. Will the Executive Director please call the roll?
Paul Grisanti.
Here.
Kelly Honig.
Here.
Penny Sylvester.
Here.
Alicia Weintraub.
Here.
President Gold.
Here. Thank you. Our next item is the approval of the agenda. Does anybody have any questions or changes to the agenda? If not, then can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Move to approve the agenda.
Second. Third then.
Thank you. Will the Executive Director please call the roll?
Paul Grisanti.
Yes.
Kelly Honig.
Aye.
Penny Sylvester.
Aye.
Alicia Weintraub.
Aye.
President Gold.
Yes, aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Public comment period. Are there any members of the public who would like to address the governing board? I don't see anyone. Terry, have you received any public comments, electronically or otherwise?
I have not. There's been no outreach.
Thank you. Since we have no public comments, we'll go to item number 4, consent calendar. We only have one item, so does anybody want to say anything about the consent calendar, or if not, then I need a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Will the Executive Director call the roll?
Paul Grisanti.
Yes.
Kelly Honig.
Aye.
Penny Sylvester.
Aye.
Alicia Weintraub.
Aye.
President Gold.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
We have one action item today on our agenda. Item number 5, letter to the Honorable Samantha P. Jasner, presiding judge at the Los Angeles County Superior Court, requesting to suspend the October 1st implementation of the pre-arrangement release protocols, which is the attached letter on the agenda. So I'd like to open this item up for discussion, comments, questions. Penny?
I'll start off if I may. First of all, I'd like to know why this is coming to the COG and not being handled by each individual city. We only received this on Friday. I could only speak to one council member, so I've only spoken to Jeremy, so I have no idea what my fellow council members feel about this. We also haven't had a chance for our city to weigh in on it, so we know what our residents feel. So I don't think it's appropriate to have this vote today. I would prefer that it was held after we've all gone to our cities and found out how everybody feels about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Penny. Paul?
As Penny said, I can't directly poll more than one of the other council people, but I can say that at every city council meeting I've been at for the last 3 years, there is a strong preference towards public safety and supporting anything that makes us safer. There is also a widespread frustration with the catch and release programs that we see in the justice system now, and to take away a tool from law enforcement makes no sense to me. And I'm gonna, unless I'm told by my city manager I can't do it, I'm gonna vote in favor of this.
Thank you, Paul. Anybody else?
I got a couple questions. Is Captain C2 available? Did anyone talk to her? I spoke with her on Friday, and of course she's very much against this new bail schedule, understandably. I also spoke with a current DA and a retired sheriff over the weekend, same position. You know, I have many issues with this. You know, it's just not going to work, and deprives the. I mean, I share all the public safety concerns that Paul just reiterated, and it just creates a system that is, you know, not adversarial. The bail system does work. It's adversarial. There's a schedule. Both sides have a chance to weigh in on who gets bail. You can deviate from the schedule if the judge determines that that's an option. And you know, we have a whole. I just don't agree with the, you know, it only benefits the wealthy, because there's an entire bondsman system in place throughout the state of California and in every state where you can get a bail bondsman, and for a fee, it's not free, for a fee, that person will post your bond. So it is working, and I completely disagree with this decision. You know, this falls within our legislative platform, so I'm prepared to vote yes, but I'm okay also with having more time to consider it. It's already in place. We're not at a critical time situation right now. I mean, because it's already happening. So if we have to delay a letter for a week or 2 weeks, that's fine too. Either way.
Anybody else?
I would just like to weigh in. If we've heard from the captain, it would be great to hear from her, like officially to the COG. But I think, I mean, I'm definitely in support of sending this letter. I understand everything that Penny has said as well, having to hear from her counsel. But I think that our law enforcement need every tool that they can to, you know, keep things safe. And this is another thing being taken away. But yeah, I don't know if sending the letter today or next month will make a difference, since it's already in effect. And I'm interested in seeing what the other cities who have filed a lawsuit, how that goes as well. But I'm in support of this, and I'm ready to vote yes on it today if that's where we're headed.
Thank you. Paul?
I also spoke to Captain C2, and in our council, we get a report every 2 weeks, and our sergeant talks to us about who is committing crimes and everything, and nearly all of them are people who are frequent flyers for in the justice system. And most of them have been arrested within the last 2 months for something else and then popped loose. And it's the thought that we're going to somehow make it even easier for those people to get bailed out or let out, and then so that they can go back to doing what they were doing before, because their underlying problems, their addiction, whatever it is not going to change, because there's no impetus for them to change it. So I'm very much in favor of it and aligned with the views of the Sheriff's Department on this.
Thank you, Paul.
Nico,
Yeah.
if I could,
Yes.
I exchanged emails with Captain C2, and she said that she was interested. This was, I believe, on Friday. She was interested in participating, and I've texted her and sent her the link. So I was trying to see if I could get her to join quickly, but I'm not having any luck.
Oh, okay. If nobody else wants to go next, anybody else?
Could I just say one more
Yeah,
thing?
sure.
Could we wait and take this vote when we've had a chance to talk to our fellow council members? I mean, I just want to know what the timeline is.
Well, I want to respond to that. I was just waiting for everybody to go first. I like to go last as the president. So I think it's very important to respond quickly because we're all here elected by our constituents to protect them and advocate for them. And if we believe, and I do, that this decision by the judge will have negative effect on our public safety, I don't think we can wait a minute. We have to take a stand. And it's not it's not legislation, it's not the Senate bill, not an assembly bill. This is public safety. This is very basic. And for all of us, you know, it's important to know that the LA County Board Division wrote a letter that we received, and they took a position, and we are all members of that, you know, the Cal Cities basically who wrote this letter. So we are already taking a position by being members of that organization because they took a position. So we are just following their footsteps. And I do believe that if you're not invited, if you're not invited to the table to discuss something that will affect you, I think it's incredibly concerning to me, especially when it comes to public safety. So I think any delay is a sign that we're not taking this seriously, that we are not nimble, we're not effective, and we're not advocating for our region. That's how I see it. So while I understand, and usually, you know, we all check in about legislation with our cities, but this is such a basic issue, you know, public safety. And what we're asking in this letter is to consider the stakeholders, consider the people, the public who will be affected by this the most. And we're just asking for a pause. We are asking for reconsideration, and we're asking for our voices to be heard and our input to be considered. I think it's very, you know, reasonable. And I think it's to me, it's kind of a, you know, no-brainer. Maybe it's not the right word, but that's what comes to mind right now. And that's why I called a special meeting, because I thought any delay will just show that we don't really care.
Right, but see, from my point of view, the League of California Cities has already spoken, as you rightly said, on behalf of all the cities. So for this group to then put forward another letter without all the cities discussing it and, you know, determining how they stand, you're undermining each of our individual cities. And I think it would be more, you know, beneficial for each city individually to send in a letter. Then you're getting 5 letters as opposed to 1.
Yeah, but we have to speak as a region. We have a bigger voice as a region. So that's why we are here at the COG, because, you know, I mean, what you're saying would also question, why are we having a COG here? You know, we could just all do things separately.
The COG is here I agree with you, to help all our cities when there are issues that can be moved forward faster and with more money, with all 5 cities getting, you know, funds. But this is a separate issue. I think it's extremely important public safety. I know in our neighborhood, people are very upset about what's going on. And I want them to hear what we are saying, rather than just hear, oh, they took a vote. And nobody watches these meetings. Is anybody on this meeting, Terry, besides us, from the public?
No.
Exactly. So nobody's watching this. They're not getting any information. They're not getting all the facts. They're not hearing what our law enforcement is asking.
They are, because they're watching the news, and the news is full of with information about this ruling. So it's not, we're not.
Yeah, but the news is full of information from both sides. So that's what I'm saying. I think everybody has to hear the information from both sides and then hear why we're ruling the way we're ruling. And I just feel in full public disclosure for our city and for our city council. And I don't think I'm getting full public disclosure here at this meeting.
Thank you, Penny. And Paul, before you go, do we have Captain C2 with us? Can I just quickly check?
Yes, my apologies. This was not on my calendar, so really apologize. This is such an important topic. And thank you all for having this discussion today. So my apologies for being late to this important topic. Oops, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Could
Yes.
I ask Jen a question? Because I haven't yet spoken to you, Jen. Jen, what is the timeline as far as you're concerned for getting these letters out?
So we've already started Zero Bell, as you know, as an Sunday. You know, I mean, any support, I would have really appreciated. You know, I just feel like the louder the voice, the more voices that we have would help. And you know, my hands are tied, and so anything that you all can do, individual cities, COG, anything you can do to help, I would appreciate it.
Right. So if we waited until we've each had our council meetings, is that too late?
I don't know what's too late. I would just, from my point of view, I would just say anything you guys can do as soon as possible to kind of let your voices be heard, because this directly impacts our community. Right.
And can I ask you another question, Jen? During, I know it was during COVID, so it's a different sort of, you know, landscape than it is now. But when bail was suspended, how much higher was the recidivism and all the issues? How high did it go when there was no bail required?
So, Penny, I don't have that in front of me, and like that, I was at West Hollywood at the time, so I can only speak on different issues rather than, I think the department actually kind of started doing a study on that months and months ago, but I don't have that information. But I can tell you this, there are certain incidents that were on TV where it talked about person was arrested for stealing a vehicle, and then later that same day, they're arrested again for stealing a vehicle. We've had that, you know, where we arrest people for theft inside of a store, and they go back, and even if it's a different store, they do it again. Right. So we've had those individual issues, but I think the department actually did a whole study on that, and I don't know if it's completed yet.
Right. Okay, thank you. And can you just clarify one thing for me? Smash and grab, is that a violent offense?
So a smash and grab is no, because that would turn into a robbery. A smash and grab is breaking into so you're smashing a window. That's why it's called smash and grab, smashing and then grabbing what you want. So it could be even going to Ulta and breaking a display and reaching in and grabbing the most important perfumes. Like that would also be a smash and grab. But yes, we are seeing those.
But is that considered a violent?
No, nope, not at all.
So it's not.
They would be released.
They would be instantly released.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Paul?
Thank you very much for logging on, Jen, and for basically our situation right now is it's for the people who commit crimes, as long as they're a little careful not to hurt anybody, it's just another day at work for them. And it's very disheartening for the sheriffs and for the rest of the police departments in the state to go out there and catch a perpetrator red-handed and have them on the street in 3 hours going back to work. And you and I go to work and we behave ourselves. We try not to treat anybody poorly. And these people go to work, and what they do is drive the merchants out of business. You've seen what's happened in San Francisco. The retail establishments are giving up on this community. It's happening with drugstores. They're giving up on the community. And, you know, I think New York was the first one to try the zero bail thing. And they had a guy who robbed more than one bank in a day. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. They need some time to cool off and think about things and maybe even get some assistance for their addictions. And see the error of their ways. And I'm not, I have been cautioned by my city manager, but I'm going to vote for this anyway.
Yeah, I will say it's disheartening for the deputies who are your deputies that come out here and work. We're down 30% and they hustle and try to make these arrests. But the problem is, there's more and more and they're just being released. And it's demoralizing to our personnel that go out and do this work to just kind of like nothing happens, they're just released and the criminals know that. And so what do you expect is going to happen in our community if there's no penalty? I mean, they're getting away with, thousands of dollars, each smash and grab, especially in our high-end stores. That just sends a message, hey, nothing's going to happen, come back. And that's not what we want for our community.
As much as I respect everything, Penny, that you've said, because we've heard from the captain and we've been hearing from our residents, and I want to do everything we can to support our deputies, I'm ready to make a motion on this.
I just want to, can I add like a couple comments just to that, while Jen's on the line. And that's that, I agree with everything. First of all, yes, Alicia and Jen, thank you for being here because your opinion is the most important. And I did speak with you Friday. The system as it is now, I'm just not buying into the argument that, some of the supervisors and the people who are pro no bail are advancing. I mean, the bail system as it exists does not only benefit wealthy people. That's just simply not true. I mean, because there's a system in place to allow anyone to get bail if you're willing to use a bail bond. I mean, it's just, I just don't feel like what's being put out there is really the situation. And that really bothers me, along with all the other things that Paul and everybody else has said. This is very bad for public safety and for our law enforcement partners. It's just not going to work. And also takes away any adversarial. I mean, the whole criminal justice system is designed to be adversarial, where two sides get to present their positions, prosecution and defense. This just eliminates that. It puts it into the hands of a magistrate who has to make a determination in a very short period of time. And that's just not okay. So I'm ready to go ahead with the letter. We're going to do this.
And then
It's possible that our city, I mean, again, we have not discussed this, but we have a legislative platform that allows me to do this. And it's possible that our city will also do a letter ourselves. I mean, you can't have too many letters.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly. And I just like to add that this letter is addressed to the Honorable Samantha P. Jasner, the judge, the presiding judge. And I would also like us, even though we address this letter to her, I would like to send this letter also to our supervisors, to our senator, our assembly members, so they are all aware that we send this letter to the judge and what we think about this decision, so they are all aware. I think it's
and to Sheriff Luna.
Yeah, and to Sheriff Luna. Yes, absolutely.
Because this is you're right, Aniko, this is a court bail schedule. Bail is administered by the courts. This is not right. As Jen, is well aware every day in her job, this isn't a sheriff thing. That's the problem. No one from the sheriff or the cities or anyone got to weigh in on this. They just did it. They just changed the bail schedule. So thank you.
And I just wanted to add, our city is discussing this at our next meeting as well.
So Alicia, if nobody else wants to comment any further, would you like to go ahead and make the motion and add that we would copy our Senator, Sheriff Luna, and our Assembly member on this letter?
I accept that amendment.
Thank you. So Paul?
Can I second that and add the Board of Supervisors?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I forgot that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Will you accept that modification, Alicia?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Will the Executive Director call the roll?
Did someone make a motion?
Yeah, that was Alicia. That was
Oh,
Alicia.
sorry, I'm sorry. I was just, okay, sorry.
Sorry about that. I was multitasking.
Yes, I know you're trying to get all this down, Terry. Sorry. It's just,
It's okay.
pay attention, Kelly.
Okay, I'll do the roll call. Paul Grisanti,
Yes.
Kelly Honig,
Yes,
let's see, Penny Sylvester,
I have to abstain.
Alicia Weintraub,
Yes.
President Gold.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0 with 1 abstention.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. And I will be going to briefings and telling our deputies that you guys stand with them, and we really appreciate your support.
thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. So since we don't have any other item on the agenda, Paul, would you like to make a comment?
I see we have Drew Smith and Megan Courier on the meeting, and I'm wondering if they have some updates for us, and I would love to hear from them if that's possible.
So updates with us is your fire department's doing great. Of course, I get to spend a lot of time with Captain C2 looking about what the best customer service delivery is for the area. I know that Captain C2 and I had a meeting last week, actually on Saturday, just regarding what we're looking for as preparedness for wildfire. I know that we have our first dose of offshore flow and sand and winds going into this week and into Sunday. And I can tell you on a scale of 1 to 10, it's about a 2. So if we look at a Woolsey fire as a 10, this is about a 2. So our workforce is strong. We've been practicing with the sheriffs on evacuations, with the zone concepts and how that's going to lay out with Office of Emergency Management. And we are, as always, being completely prepared as possible for when an emergency arises. So we are in lockstep, of course, and we're excited about what I'm calling Captain C2's Fusion Center, the all-risk center that she's put at Lost Hill Sheriff Station, which is commending on the job effort she did in that. And so we're excited about that. So is there any questions for the fire department?
I just have a comment directed to Drew, Megan, and Jen. On Friday in Westlake Village, there was a memorial walk because it was the 3rd anniversary of the tragedy that resulted in the death of the 2 Iskander boys. And Drew and Megan and Jen were there, and Jen and Drew spoke, and it was excellent as always and very meaningful. And you know, we in Westlake really appreciate the fact that you were there and that you took your time to come and address. There was like 300 people there, and be present, you know, on what is a very solemn day in the city of Westlake Village. So thanks. It was really good to see you both, and what you said was very important. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much for the support. And it's, we care a lot because we're members of the community in the area. My family has been in the area for over 75 years. And so it's partial to me, even though I'm just over the county line a little bit. This is all my area. So thank you so much. And we're proud to support our cities. That's for sure.
Penny?
Yes, I just had something interesting to You know, we received a letter from our home insurance, and we live in the middle of a residential area, and I had the fire inspection come and everything was cleared, but the home insurance says that we have to trim back more on our trees before they will issue, and I have to send photos before they'll issue us our home insurance again. So I think the insurance companies are going to do a lot of the heavy lifting to get people to do that 0 to 5 zone. I thought that's new. That's never happened before.
Right, that's a good, so the insurance companies know our county fire code and our ordinances, but they can always choose on what people do on their property to complement themselves and complement the customer. So if they're asking you to do that, we don't have any control over that. But they are taking a proactive approach for that defensible space component of vegetation management around your home hardening. So hopefully with a combined effort with your fire agencies and the insurance company, that we can, have that common goal for life safety and the reduction of structure loss. So thank you for that information.
Yeah, and I think it's because homeowners, I think, will react more to their insurance company than anybody else. So it's a good thing.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for letting me know.
Thank you so much, Drew. Since we don't have anything else on our agenda, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for joining.